For 20 years now. Three incredible children, athletes, 17-year-old Bianca, 14-year-old Lucas, my little 12-year-old Kayla, who's a water polo player. Not much formal education to speak of. Actually, after high school, I decided school wasn't for me, and I started building businesses at the age of 16. I'm really proud to say I've never actually had a job. Put myself in a position where I am today that I'm able to follow my passion, live out my life's purpose, and that's what led to the creation of a football club and academy. Well, after a number of years as a player, as a young boy as a player, into my early 30s playing and then becoming a father, giving my free time as a volunteer coaching, I realized that some of the issues that I saw when I was a young player were still prevalent. And I always said that if I was ever in a position to make a change, that I would in turn do so. And then after some deliberation, some conversations with my wife, I decided it was time to jump on in and start to put together an academy and a club based on the principles that I always believed should have been there. Well, the biggest issue we have here in Quebec is the term academy. Academy, unfortunately, has been abused. Private enterprises are paying large sums of money to European clubs for essentially the use of the logo, anywhere between 150 to 200,000 euros, and they're able to use a logo in which in turn they've got to go out and charge parents large amounts of money with the promise of within a year, 2 years, or 3 years, your child may actually be seen in Europe and may have an opportunity to play for a pro club in Europe, which is essentially not true. Club system is something that's been around forever. Club system are municipal programs run by volunteers. They will have a paid technical director, which will in turn help the kids to get a little bit better. They play in local leagues. They're also in tournaments all across Quebec. What we decided to do was follow more of a European mentality. So what we did is, in the creation of the Manic falls under what we consider to be a centre de formation. Truly, our mandate is about development. Yes, of course, at the end of the day, if the child is good enough and truly does develop and the desire is there, there's always that opportunity to go off to Europe. But there's also the opportunity with the CPL, with the MLS, USL, UPSL. There's so many different levels of professional football here in North America, Central America, South America, over in Europe. I would say to date, our biggest obstacle would be the education of the parent. Very difficult, and I don't believe it's just football or soccer. I think it goes into all of the sports, but parents want games, parents want to win. It's a win at all cost mentality. So the process of educating the parents that in order to win, you need to develop first, and you can't win to in turn develop. It's probably been the number one obstacle, has been the idea of getting them to understand the importance of training. At this moment, our affiliations actually are more in Europe than they are anywhere else. We're very fortunate to have a partnership with the Glasgow Rangers. We're also working with other clubs in England, in Belgium, in Germany, as well as in Austria and in Switzerland. Today, our relationship with Soccer Quebec is very positive. They've heard from us. We've been very open and transparent with what we do and how we do it and the people that are involved with our group. But at this moment, Soccer Quebec is not doing any accreditation for academies. And the opportunity to become a club is very difficult, as most of the municipalities in the province of Quebec are already doing business with someone else. Well, the advisory board is something that everyone with the current administration thought would be an extremely positive thing. It certainly would add additional credibility when we were speaking over in Europe or when we were communicating here with Soccer Quebec or with Soccer Canada. The function of the advisory board is it simply explains in the word itself, advisory. So when we have ideas with regards to how we want to develop and the type of structure we want to put in place, they're there for us to bounce ideas off. Very fortunate, actually, José Riga of Belgium, Standard Liège, Blackpool, Charlton, FC Metz, also worked with AC Milan, spent his lifetime and currently still involved with football in Europe. James Baird, former pro, spent more than 20 years as a professional goalkeeper, starting at the young age of under 15 Scottish national team, and then spent a number of years in 7-8 different countries playing the sport he loves. Ronald Honak, instrumental, very well known, and extremely well connected through Germany and Austria, has worked with clubs like Rapid de Vienne, also does the licensing of the UEFA A and UEFA B license in Europe. And we currently have another bunch of people that we're currently evaluating to put on the advisory board as well. The Centre de Formation is based on a 38-week a year programming. Depending on the age category, we run from U15 all the way up to senior. They will train anywhere between 90 minutes, being the youngest, which is the baby foot, and all the way up to 6 hours per week when you're at the top level of formation. Typically, any of the groups from U9 through to senior will play anywhere between 20 and 25 matches per year. We have our own local tournament showcase, as well as one international tournament that each of the categories will be participating in. Each age category should have roughly 25 matches at the end of the 38-week program. We have taken the position that it's not for us to dictate whether a child should be only with our program or if he could be with our program and another club. What our belief is that once they see the type of development we do and the relationship that we have from our educators through to our technical staff down to the players, the child themselves will organically choose to stay with us. Of course, once you enter into the Centre de Formation and you're at the more serious level, which requires between 4.5 and 6 hours per week of training, at that point there is no selection. You really truly have to be 100% committed to the Manic. Like anything else, top-level development comes at a cost. At the young ages, from U9 through to the U13, it runs at $3,000 per year over a 38-week program. Typically this year, using an example, the children will play 125 to 129 training hours, plus 20 to 25 matches. What we've decided to do within La Manic is to amortize the $3,000 over 10 equal payments, interest-free. So the Academy essentially is financing the complete program over a 10-month period. Once you go into the Centre de Formation, the price then drops down to $2,000, which again will be amortized over a 10-month period, and the training frequency goes up to 184 hours of training per year with 20 to 25 matches. There's a multiple of ways. We have our technical staff who spends the summers going to watch training sessions as well as matches, anywhere from a U9 all the way through to the older boys and the girls, for example. That is one way, would be a direct invitation. So after a training session or a match, one of our technical advisors may come up to you and your parents and offer you an open tryout in which you would come for 3 90-minute sessions to be evaluated. And we also run 4 times per year through our social media. You'll see that we have direct events open for open tryouts. And from there, there's an application process, an interview. Player and parent are interviewed, and we move from there to the contract signing, and then you become part of the family.